Good morning and welcome to Baking with Andrea. Today we're going to be making carrot cake muffins. I hope you're all ready. So we're going to start off our recipe with some large carrots. I have already peeled my carrots, cut off the ends and the tips and cut them in half. So they're a little bit smaller. I'm going to put them in my food processor. This is a 6-cup food processor. And about 6 large carrots will give you the 3 cups that we need for our recipe. I'm just going to put those in. And a little bit. And you want a pretty finely ground carrot for this carrot cake. You don't want any chunks in your muffins. A little bit more. And so you really want a pretty finely ground carrot. I'll move my blade here and transfer this to a bowl. And so I have a large 4-cup measuring cup, so I'm just going to put this in here and see how good that was. Get them all in here and all that good stuff. Yep, perfect. 6 carrots, 3 cups. I'm good to go. Alrighty. Once you've got your carrots ready, at this point, if you're going to be adding nuts to your recipe, this is when you would add your nuts. You could do pecans, you could do walnuts. I am not adding nuts to mine, but this is the time that you would go ahead and chop them into smaller pieces. At this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our mixer. And we're going to beat our eggs and our sugar. We're going to beat them really, really well. We want them very well combined. Let's take this out for a second. And I have 4 eggs here. Now, this recipe calls for 1 1/4 cups of sugar. I don't like as sweet of a carrot cake, so I drop mine down to 1 cup of sugar. If you like it a little bit sweeter, you can definitely leave it at the 1 1/4 cups. I'm going to put my 4 eggs in here. Make sure I'm not adding any shells in there. Oh, I got one in there. There we go. And then I'm going to add in 1 cup of white sugar. Straight in there. And then I'm going to let the machine do the mixing for me. Turn it on, start it off at a 2. Let it go for a minute, let it kind of combine. And then I'm going to turn it up a bit. And you want to let it mix quite a bit because you want your sugar and your eggs to be really well emulsified together. I'll show you what it looks like. Pretty well beaten. Alrighty. Once we have that together, you're going to have your oil ready to go. And I have 1 1/4 cups of oil here. And I'm going to add this into my egg and my sugar mixture. And I'm going to beat that just until it's combined. Don't have to overbeat this, just until it's all combined with the egg. Give it a couple of good spins. Alrighty, that's combined. Now we're going to go ahead and add our dry ingredients. So I have 2 1/2 cups of flour. I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add all of my dry ingredients in. Get everything in there. That was my flour, my baking powder, my baking soda, my cinnamon, and my salt. Now, the cinnamon in this recipe is definitely optional. You do not have to add cinnamon if you don't want to. You can add less cinnamon. If you like really cinnamony, you can add more cinnamon. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my mixer going, let that combine together. You can see it really starting to come together. And it's going to be a pretty wet batter that comes together. Give it a really good mix, get everything mixed in there. And you see the cinnamon's going to turn it a little bit of a darker color. That's okay. All right. Once it's mixed, I'm going to take it off of here. Going to get this stuff into the bowl, and then you're going to fold in at this point your carrots and your nuts. If you're adding them to the recipe, you're going to fold them both in at the same time. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to put your 3 cups of shredded carrots in. And then you're going to very gently just kind of fold it into the batter. So when you're folding, oh, and I have a giant piece of carrots. I'm going to take that one out. When you're folding, you want to take it from the bottom and bring it to the top. From the bottom to the top. And just kind of keep doing that around and around until your carrots are all combined. Keep going. And this takes a little bit of your, elbow grease. Get in there and really mix it in, get it in there and combined. You want every little bite to have a piece of carrot in it. Okay, and that's what my batter is going to look like. And once I have my batter, make a little bit of space over here. And I'm going to grab, this recipe will make about 24 large decent sized muffins. So I just use a regular muffin or a cupcake tin. And I only have one 12 one, so I'm going to use 2 6-piece disposable ones. And these will get delivered to friends and family. So what I do is I'm going to take an ice cream scoop. And the one that I have here is a small one. So it's going to take about 2 small scoops to fill each cupcake or bin. I'm going to go ahead and dump them in. Now, you don't want to overfill these because there is baking powder and baking soda in this. They will rise when you bake them. So you really want to make sure that you don't overfill your container. If you can do this in a loaf pan, a muffin tin, a cake tin, but again, just make sure you don't overfill it so that it doesn't rise all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these 2 scoops each. And get them really nice and filled. Don't worry about leveling them off. We're going to give a couple of drops, at the end. Make sure that they're laid down well. Go ahead and fill all of them. And so these are really nice just as is, but we're going to make, when we're done here, a delicious cream cheese frosting to put on top. I've seen this done as a cake where they will bake the batter in 2 equal-sized cake tins and then put the frosting on the top and top it to make it a double layer cake. We are just going to top our muffins with frosting. And again, you can eat as is. These are really nice as a breakfast treat, afternoon treat, evening treat, any time of the day treat. Just get to enjoy them. The frosting recipe calls for vanilla, so that's part of the reason why we don't have vanilla in our batter. The vanilla can get a little bit overpowering. We really don't want that to happen. So just get this out of the way here. If you have a bigger ice cream scoop, it may only take you 1 scoop, but again, using a smaller one, so we're doing 2 per spot. And then what you're going to do once they're filled, you're just going to take your pan and just drop it 3 or 4 times, get rid of some of those air bubbles, and it'll flatten your batter out a little bit. One more to go over here. We're missing a couple of oh, there they are. Fell out when I carried them over. If you are a parent of a young child and you're trying to hide some veggies in your child's diet, this is a great way to do it. Carrots are a good one. You can also add greens to this recipe. You could add some shredded zucchini. It might change the texture of your batter slightly, but it was delicious. You could maybe add a little bit of shredded broccoli. Kind of a nice way to season there. Get them to eat their veggies. Alrighty, I think we're just about done here. Get all that good stuff in there. All right, and that's going to be about it for the batter. Caitlin, I have a question for you. All righty. And there we go. There's our batter. And we're just going to drop it over here. And then these are going to go into an oven set at 350 degrees. If you're doing it in the muffin tins for anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, at about 20-25 minutes, you're going to want them. Once they're starting to get nice and brown on the top, that's when you know that they're ready. So again, 20 to 30 minutes in a 350 degree oven. If you're doing it in a cake pan or a cake tin, it's going to take probably closer 30 to 40, 45 minutes. So I'm going to put these over here on the side. If you guys can give me 1 second here, I'm just going to wash my bowl so we can make our icing. We're going to make our cream cheese icing. So whenever you're working with cheese and butter for an icing, it's always a good idea to leave them out on the counter for a couple of hours to come to room temperature. That way they're going to be easier to mix and combine. So that's what I've done. I cooked mine out this morning. I left them out on my counter, and they're going to be easier to mix. And for our icing sugar, we're going to use, it is 4 ounces of butter, 2 cups of confectioner's or icing sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 4 ounces of cream cheese. Again, the nice thing about this recipe is that if you want it a little bit sweeter, you can add a little bit more confectioner sugar. If you want it less sweet, you add a little bit less. So that's one of the really nice things about it. All right, this bowl is ready. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and dry on the inside, ready to go. All right, now, come over here. I'm going to get these muffins in the oven so they can get baking. Give me 1 second. Again, set at 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. So what I do is usually set a timer for 22 to 25 minutes, and then I'll check them and make sure that they're ready to go. Alrighty, we're moving our icing. At this point, I'm going to take 4 ounces of butter, 4 ounces of cream. So this is an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. I'm going to have this. And I'm going to take 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, and I need my vanilla. So I'm going to grab that. And when I'm working with icing, it's really important, again, to go based on your flavor profile. Do you like it sweeter? Do you like it less? My family doesn't love it super sweet, so we don't go on the very sweet side. Mix this out really quickly. And for the icing, you are going to want to use a beading attachment again. You can use a handheld if you have one. Unfortunately, I do not, so I use my stand mixer for everything. Gonna give this a quick dry. Alrighty. And so what we're going to do in this recipe is we're going to beat our butter and our confectioner sugar first. We're going to beat it really well till it's combined. So again, it's 4 ounces of butter. So it's a stick of butter. Salted or unsalted is optional. Most recipes call for unsalted. Personally, I prefer salted. And then I'm going to use 2 cups of confectioner sugar. I have my dry measuring cup over here. I'm going to add that's about 1 cup. And we're going to go for our second cup here. All right, so we'll start with that. That's about 2 cups. We're going to get this mixing together. And it's going to take a little bit to get it combined. You want to let it go. You really want that butter and sugar to be combined. You might need to get in there with a spatula and get the butter off the beater. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my cream cheese ready. And so I use blocks of cream cheese. You could use the containers of cream cheese. I would stay away from whipped cream cheese. It tends to get a different feel to the icing. And so I'm beating it over here. I'm going to take my spatula, and I got some butter stuck on my beater. I'm just going to get that off. And we're going to keep going. You really want to get this cream together. There we go, it's starting to happen now. You can see it. Mix them together there. Just going to scrape down the sides, get all that icing sugar in there. Confectioner sugar. All of that in there. Get all the butter stuck off, that's stuck on the bottom. Get that up. And we're going to keep mixing. And so the next step, when we add our cream cheese and our vanilla, we're going to actually do that by hand, because once you start adding that in, if you overbeat it, it can actually make your thing a little bit too runny. And we really don't want that to happen. So make it nicely combined here. One more scrape off the bottom, get that little bit off there, all mixed in. And then once it's creamed, this is what it's going to look like. It's a little bit more like a paste. And once I'm happy with it, this is what it's going to look like. This out of the way. Going to take the same spatula that I was using, just clean all of that good stuff off the beaters, because I need this for my icing. Get that in there. now. All right. I've got my creamed confectioner sugar and butter. It looks like plain icing sugar. Doesn't taste like much right now. It tastes like butter and confectioner sugar. At this point, I'm going to take my stick of cream cheese. And all I did was I sliced it in half. I'm going to take half and stick it in. And then I'm just going to very gently start to combine it. Once it's a little bit combined, I'm going to take my vanilla, teaspoon and a half. I go a little bit on the lighter side with my vanilla, and then you just very gently start to fold it in together. At this point, you want to go really carefully because, as I said, you can overmix it and it will become too runny. We really don't want that to happen. And as you can see, it's already getting looser. If you're finding that you've overmixed it, you can stick it in the fridge for a couple of minutes and it should tighten right up. And in terms of storage for these, I would, if you've iced the muffins or the cake, I would keep it in the freezer. In the refrigerator, excuse me. If you're not icing them, you don't have to keep them in the fridge. You can keep them in an airtight container on the counter. So here are some muffins that I've already made. This is what they look like. And then you're going to go ahead and ice them. I just take my spatula, take a muffin, give a nice smear on top, get it all in there. And there's your iced carrot cake muffin. If you'd like to get super fancy, you could put this in a piping bag and pipe it on, but we want to keep it simple today. So we're just going to ice these. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish icing these. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed making these carrot cake muffins, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.